We got a guest. We got a guest this week, as we do every week, or at least try to, and a good one tonight. I'm going to bring in John Padro
No,
from
it's
what is
Johnny
it?
Boy.
Johnny Boy. Why did I call him
Boy,
John?
yeah.
You know why? Because John Boy was a fighter that I knew. That's why.
Okay.
Well, let's bring in Johnny Boy, John Padro from Fight Hype, a great vehicle for boxing fans to watch. And there he is, my friend. How are you?
Salute, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I will hear you well. Do you hear us okay?
Yeah, perfect. I can't believe it. I'm surprised I got it working.
How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm just paying attention to what the conversation you guys were having.
I hope you're enjoying it, and
Yeah,
it's enlightening you a bit.
Great content. Great content.
Let's ask you first about your thoughts on the Supercard. What did you think?
I thought it was overall it was pretty good. They said it was the best fight card in the history of boxing. I don't agree with that, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think it was the greatest Supercard that we've seen in boxing, but it's up there in my top 5, though.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Anytime you get like more than 4 championship fights and superstars on the same card, that's why they call it the Supercard in Riyadh. And the kings and princes of Saudi Arabia, the Turk guy, they're able to do it. Your impressions briefly of 2 fighters on that card in particular, Dimitri Bivol and Shakur Stevenson.
I like Dimitri Bivol. I felt he won the fight. I felt he won the first fight as well. He had a great ring generalship. He has a high boxing IQ. I really love the way he throws multiple combinations and throws, and he's constantly on his toes, moving. So I felt that Better Beav eventually Father Time would catch up to him. He did well. He fought, but I think it was more convincingly for the second fight that Bieber won that fight. And Shakur Stevenson, I'm a big fan. I'm related to him. He's my cousin, so I got to go with Shakur.
Really?
Yeah. His father,
I didn't know that. It's interesting. Are you driving right now? Or are you in an Uber? Where are you?
No, I'm parked at a gas station. I was trying to get home, and I couldn't make it home. I had to get on the show with you, Rich. I had to put you first. I
appreciate that very much, taking the time. It's always great to see when I have a guest stopping off somewhere to just get to me. To me, that means a lot. It's a great impression. Makes me smile. Makes me happy. All right. I want to go on from this and look at a couple of things and pick your ear on a few things to get your opinion, because you're in on this more than me, a lot with Fight Hype. About the Turk guy and Teofimo Lopez. They were seen often together in Saudi Arabia, and there's this talk about a major supercard coming up. If not supercard, but an event outdoors in Times Square, the Crossroads in New York City, that Teofimo would be on, that Ramirez would be on with Devin Haney, and of course, Raleigh Romero and my friend Ryan Garcia, and Teofimo talking about unification of 140, which there's a hard road to climb to that, as we know, or moving to 147. And now with the Turk guy and his involvement and a lot of money there, what do you think?
I think that's going to be that. I'm really excited about that. If that happens in Times Square, I'll definitely be there. And tomorrow I'll be covering Richardson Hitchens, the champion at 140. He's getting the key to the city, I think, in Union City, New Jersey. I guess he moved over there, so I'm going to be covering that. I'm going to ask him about Teofimo Lopez, the Battle of Brooklyn, 2 fighters. I'm excited to see that matchup, to see how that goes. But I think that's good. The Times Square event, I heard it was going to be free. I'm curious to see how they put that whole thing together.
I don't know. That 350 seats free. That's what I heard as well. But that's what the Turk guy is doing. I mean, he's doing this. He says he's for the fans. Here's another example of that. And he wants to take fights to unusual venues like Alcatraz, where he says Teofimo would fight, or at the Roman Colosseum in Italy, where I've never been, where I want to go. Give me a reason to go, by the way. That's what he's doing differently. But do you like the idea that major fights, just like we saw Saturday in Riyadh, do you like the idea that we're not seeing these type of events here in the United States?
I mean, obviously, it's easier for us to travel in the United States, especially the East Coast. Madison Square Garden. We can go to the West Coast with Vegas and everything. I mean, it's something new. But if he's gonna make the fights happen that we have to wait, that we've been waiting for so long, then I'll take it because that we're gonna have to deal with a little bit of the traveling. Alcatraz, I'm a history buff, so I'd be curious to go to the island to see a fight there.
It's a
Um,
museum. It's a museum. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I'd love to go there. I'd love to go. Al Capone. I heard they were trying to set up like hotel rooms in the jail cells. I don't know how true that is,
I don't
but
know.
that's interesting. I'd stay there just for the just to get it. Say I stayed at Alcatraz one
Got to
time.
agree, though, that the Turk guy, as much as we don't have the fights here, that he's making this sport interesting again. I mean, if you're a
Absolutely.
boxing fan, you love it. You're still going to get the non-boxing fan tuned in again. That's why I don't agree with everything being over in different venues like that or Saudi Arabia. I want to see more fights at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden, Barclays Center, like we got in New York this Saturday with Gervonta Davis, Vegas, which was my home for years, fight capital of the world, even Texas, where Errol Spence, that became his home. But when the money is with the Turk guy and that Saudi Sports Commission, that's where the promoters are going to want to go. Let's face it.
Exactly, I agree. Go talking about the Coliseum and going to Rome. I wouldn't have a problem going there. I would love to go there. Bruce Lee fought Chuck Norris there in
Yeah.
game of that or Return of the Dragon, I believe. So and the Roman gladiators fighting there. I would definitely be interested in going there to see the fight. I'm not too
Well,
excited about Riyadh going over there. Maybe Dubai, but I mean I wouldn't want to continue to keep going over there. I'd rather
I
go
don't
to
know how guys
Japan to
do
see
it.
a new way.
I don't know how guys take that trip back and forth. It's like around the corner for them. I can't even cross the street sometimes and I'm winded. I don't know.
Exactly.
This is Johnny Boy from FightHype.com, a great vehicle for a boxing fan to get the latest news, information, videos. That's where it's at. That's where they go. Johnny Boy, was great to come on the air with me tonight. Let's move on and let's talk about Khalid Plant, Diego Pacheco. That's been talk about a May 3rd fight there on the undercard of Canelo and William Skull for his IBF title. That's in Riyadh. See, that's why I don't know how the Turk guy can do talk May 2nd, May 3rd if they're doing Canelo and Skull in Riyadh at the same time. That's impossible, don't you think?
Yeah, that's strange. I don't know how they're going to work that out. But some of the fights should be in the United States as well because we have boxing is big here. So Turkey having those fights out there, you can see the crowd. The crowd is not really that excited. The show is totally different. I don't mind a few fights in Riyadh, but you have to bring it back to the States. Even England, they have a big boxing fan base there. You know,
Yeah.
so I don't know about
Yeah, I
continuing to have
simply think
every
that
single fight.
boxing here in the United States, because the venues are too expensive, they're not paying enough for the promoters to lure them in. And that's why the promoters are going with the money, whether it be the UK or now in Saudi Arabia. What do you think about Diego Pacheco? Does he have a shot to be a champion this year at 168?
I think he does. I think he's a pretty good fighter. He has a great boxing ability. He's a very tough kid. He's tall. He's lanky. I think he has an excellent shot to become a champion. We'll just have to see, how he does. If that fight is for sure with Caleb Plant, correct?
Yeah, that's what they're saying for May 3rd. Yep.
Okay, that's a great fight. Caleb Plant
I
is no
like
joke.
Pacheco. I think he's going to be a champion at some point this
Yeah,
year. I don't know what alphabet soup title he'll get, but I like him. I like his style. I like his footwork. I like everything about him. He's rose up the totem pole pretty fast, and he's got the zone and he's got Eddie Hearn. Whatever he's got it. And at 168 though, you still got to get to Canelo Alvarez. He's not ready for him yet.
yeah. That'll be a tough test to get to Canelo Alvarez. And Canelo Alvarez is already signed up, I guess, with Terrence Crawford, supposedly almost
He's got the
95%
four-fight,
sure.
400 million deals reportedly with the Turk guy in Saudi Arabia.
Four-
That's supposedly what Canelo signed for. Four
400 million.
fights. Yep. 400 million.
100 million
That's
apiece.
the word. That's the word.
That's
Not 40
insane.
million, 400 million. That's the
400
word.
million.
Unless I'm wrong, I read my numbers wrong, and I can't balance my checkbook right anyway. So what the hell? Johnny boy, let me ask you about Carissa Shields. This came up in the last week. Supposedly in her championship fight where she won the heavyweight title in the female division, marijuana possessed. She got tested positive for marijuana. Now they say that was a miscalculation. Whatever it was the marijuana that smelled on her because people where she was at the venue were smoking marijuana all night long. Can you buy that?
It sounds fishy. I don't know about that story. That sounds kind of crazy. But I know, speaking about marijuana, like I don't know if this is a new style or this has been going on for a while. But every time I go to the bathroom at a boxing event at the Barclays I was in
Barclays
Philly.
notorious at ringside. We have to cover our mouths and wear a mask.
Everyone's smoking in the stalls. Everyone, it's like a smoke session. It's like, what the hell's going on over here? Now it's legal. I guess, it's crazy.
But you can't do
I
that
try
at
to
the
run in and out. I don't want to get high.
You can't do that at the Major League Baseball ballparks that I'm at all summer, covering baseball. They'll get ejected out of the stadium right away.
Yeah, they have kids and all that.
Different at a boxing venue. It's a different crowd, different demographic, whatever.
Absolutely.
I want to talk to you about this. The egg shot heard around the world the past couple of days. Out there in the UK, they continued their press conference today. They tried to get at each other. They had extra security intact because Conor Ben and Chris Eubanks Jr. was Nigel Ben, not Conor. Conor was the father. Father-son rivalry renewed. These two hate each other, but the fight's April 26th in the UK. Let's take a look at this video and give me your reaction. Roll it, Thomas. Come on, a dozen eggs cost $12 here in the United States. What are you doing?
Spending a lot of money, man.
Now, do you think that was all planned? Is this part of the hype for this fight? Because they hate each other. There'd be no hype for this.
Absolutely, it just adds to the promotion. I think more eyeballs will be on the sport. Even the casuals will pay attention, and they'll come together. I think it makes it more exciting. I don't think you should do that for the next event. Keep the eggs away; they're too expensive. But for this one, it was okay. I think it's gonna hype the fight up. I think it'll be.
Who do you like in that fight come April 26th?
Well, I was with Ben in Philly for the Boots fight, so I like his style. He was a gentleman, and when I get kind of friendly with the fighter, I kind of mess up and I go with the friendship instead of thinking on paper who's better. So I'm going with Ben though. I'm sticking with him.
It's going to be one of those fights we call anticipation as we wait for April 26th, because we do know they are going to brawl, and that might be a bloody mess as well. They hate each other. And you know what happens at the end, Johnny boy, when it's all over? All the animosity, they'll hug it out afterwards. But I wonder if these two will really hug it out when it's over.
Usually when you have a fight with someone, you have a mutual respect. You felt their power, he felt your power. And 9 out of 10 times, those guys will make up, unless it's really like something that they did to a family member or something. I think they'll hug it out. I bet, or at least shake on it.
And interesting as we saw the egg shot heard around the world. Let's move on to this weekend. Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Good card. PBC, Amazon Prime, and payperview.com. Gervonta Davis, he's home. He loves fighting at Barclays, where he won a title before. Lamont Roach, this is an opponent. They know each other. Proximity. Gervonta from Washington, D.C., rather Roach from D.C. and Gervonta from Baltimore. They know each other. Go back in the amateurs. They keep in touch. They're friendly. It showed at their final press conference at the Barclays Center today. You know what? WBA Lightweight Championship up for grabs for Gervonta. But everyone's looking forward to Gervonta win and possibly getting Shakur Stevenson next, the WBC champ at lightweight. How do you feel about this?
I think it's a good fight. I have a relationship with Lamont Roach. I interviewed him and we got close. So I really like Lamont Roach's chances. But obviously the favorite will be Gervonta Tank Davis. So it'll be a tough task for him to move up and beat Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta
Tank,
gives you.
yeah. Tank, not to cut you off, Johnny boy, but
No, go ahead.
Tank starts off slow, and then
Yeah,
he comes on in the seventh round. He gets the knockout. That's
I
what
think
Roach
that
has to look. That's what Roach has to look at. That slow start, and then Javante seventh round or whatever.
exactly. I was gonna say the same thing. The best thing you want to do in a tank fight is you want to push it to him the first 4 or 5 rounds and go hard and go for the knockout because he's giving you that opportunity. If he's gonna give it, you have to take it. One, like you said, 6, 7th round, he starts to step it up. That's when you're gonna have problems because he's timing all your movements. You have to be unorthodox, moving your head around and tying him up so he doesn't get off those shots. Frustrate him, lean on him. Even though Lamont isn't the bigger man, he looked about he's taller than Javante. I think he's bigger than him as far as
There are
height
two
wise.
bouts on the undercard that are of interest: Valenzuela and Ronnie Telez, two young stars in the sport as well. Fans could go out and see them or watch it on pay-per-view. Good card by the PBC and Amazon Prime pay-per-view.com Saturday night. But, it's because the PBC no longer with Showtime doesn't do as many shows as they used to, but they've got Amazon and Amazon Prime behind them. I'll be there ringside. I'll hopefully we'll see you Saturday night. At
Yeah.
some point, we all know where we're seating till we get there. How about Keith Thurman? Keith Thurman is going to fight. He says he's fighting again. He's got something scheduled in Australia in a couple of weeks. Do you think Keith Thurman has a chance to get back in the title mix at 147 or 154?
No, I don't. And the reason why is because he's too injury prone. I think he was a great fighter, but the lack of inability, him fighting, and then the injuries on top of that, he's just not the same guy. Father Time is nicking away at him. Plus, the injuries. He's just not going to be the same fighter. I don't
He's
believe Keith
getting up
Thurman
there
is
in
the same
age as
guy.
well.
Yeah.
Looks a little heavier too from his training videos that he posts on social media. Also this weekend, Johnny Boy, Surreal Matias in Puerto Rico again on the zone. Gabriel Valenzuela, an IBF title eliminator. I love Mateus, even though he lost that title to Piero. Do you think Mateus gets back in this division and has a title again in the near future?
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be tough for him, and I'm rooting for him. He's an exciting fighter, but he doesn't. I think he needs to box more than just brawl and try to walk the man down. Be scientific with it and use his intellect, and then he can win some of these fights. I think he's making the fights harder than they need to be. So good luck to Sabril Matias, but I just don't think
Being
he wants
Puerto
to go to
Rico
war.
once again. He's home again. Finally, let me get your opinion on this one. I don't know how much you know about it in Belfast this weekend on the zone. Patty Donovan, IBF welterweight title eliminator as well. Belfast is Lewis Crocker. Do you have an opinion on that one?
No, I'm not too sure about those guys.
Neither am I. And what boxing guys? And I know a little bit about Donovan. I know nothing, and I will admit about Crocker. But Eddie Hearn will tell you otherwise. That he knows them well because Eddie Hearn always has the answers, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. How he puts them together.
Johnny boy, this has been great. We can go on and on. I'll definitely have you on again with Keep It in the Ring. Hope you enjoyed it, but you're not done yet because every guest who comes on with Rich Mancuso with Keep It in the Ring must get the fact of the week. Not
Okay.
trivia, fact. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Thomas, here it is. Fact of the week. Pay attention. Here we go. It's a fact, not trivia, Johnny boy. A brawler, known in boxing, is more productive and easy to hit, but does well enough against other fighters' styles because they train to take punches well. Can you give me one, two, or three fighters that were brawlers in their fights over the years? They're more productive and easy to hit, but they do well enough against other fighting styles because they train to take punches well. That's why they're known as brawlers. Can you give me an idea? Give me a couple of names in that list. They're
Julio
all
Cesar
recent.
Chavez. Oh, recent.
Recent.
Sean Porter.
No, but he could be a brawler, but he's not on my list.
Okay. Aaron Pryor?
No, but he could
Just
be,
new
but he's
guy.
not on my list.
I'm trying to think of
Well, I'll give you a hint on one. At
give me
one
one.
time, he was the oldest heavyweight champion of all time, not too long ago.
George?
Yep, George Foreman was one of
Okay,
them.
okay.
Definite brawler. And one of them also a great champion from Philadelphia, fought at Barclays Center numerous times. Record crowds.
Danny Garcia?
There you go. Gave
Okay,
it
okay.
away. Another one, a great champion from Puerto Rico.
Brawler.
Kind of like in the lightweight division. Lightweight.
Camacho?
No, but yeah, he was more style, but also a brawler. But more style than
He could get
brawler.
dirty with it.
How about Wilfredo Gomez?
Wilfredo Gomez, Bazooka. Okay, okay.
There you go. You know your stuff. You know your stuff. You got it. Facts of the
Well,
week.
Rich, thank you, brother, for having
Johnny
me on,
boy,
man.
this has been
Appreciate it.
great. From FightHype.com, log on, watch the videos, and get the latest boxing news, even better than me. How do they reach you on
Nobody's
social?
better than you, Rich.
Oh, no, I don't want to hear that. Listen,
You're
at
the
my
legend.
age,
You're the
I'm an
legend.
old timer. You guys are all new. You're taking over the business. Johnny boy.
No. We're learning from you. We're learning from you.
Oh, well, I appreciate that very much. I don't think you guys would. Johnny boy,
I do.
where do fight fans reach you to get the latest on social media and so forth?
My Instagram is Johnny Boy Quick, and my boxing channel on YouTube is Johnny Boy Boxing. But you can catch me on Fight Hype as well.
And you do a great job. The whole network does. Keep up the good
So
work.
do you.
Keep it in
Thank
the
you,
ring,
Rich.
and I'll see you Saturday night at ringside, okay?
See you Saturday, Rich. You got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny Boy from FightHype.com. That was great. Went around the horn a little bit about the fights coming up, what we saw, what's coming along. Definitely going to have him on again. He was great.